Welcome to Drishti Judiciary. This MCQ series for the Supreme Court Clerk Exam will sharpen your accuracy, strengthen concepts, and help you master the exam pattern. Let's begin. Let's start with previous day's practice question. The question was, under the CPC, when can the doctrine of res judicata be invoked? Only in criminal proceedings, in subsequent suits involving the same parties and same cause of action, only when the defendant is absent, or in cases of fresh evidence. The correct answer is option B. It applies to subsequent suits or proceedings involving the same parties, the same cause of action and the same subject matter that have already been adjudicated by a competent court. Hence, B is the correct option. Let's start today's session. The first question is, when an acceptance may be revoked? A. An acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of the acceptance is complete as against the proposer but not afterwards. B. An acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of the acceptance is complete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. C. An acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of the acceptance is incomplete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. D. An acceptance may be revoked at any time after the communication of the acceptance is complete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. The correct answer is option B. Under Section 4 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, an acceptance is complete when it is communicated to the proposer. The general rule is that an acceptance cannot be revoked once it is communicated to the proposer unless the revocation occurs before the communication is complete. Hence, B is the correct option. Next, in which circumstances the original contract need not be performed? If the parties to a contract agree to alter it, if the parties to a contract agree to substitute a new contract, if the parties to a contract agree to rescind it, or all of the above. The correct answer is option D. In contract law, there are certain circumstances in which the original contract need not be performed. These circumstances arise when the parties involved mutually agree to change, replace, or cancel the contract. Hence, D is the correct option. Next, under the BSA, which statement is true about confessions? Confession made to a police officer is always inadmissible. Confession to a person in authority but not police officer is admissible only if corroborated. Confession must be voluntary and without inducement, threat or promise, otherwise inadmissible. All confessions are admissible if recorded in the presence of a magistrate. The correct answer is option C. Under the BSA, a confession is admissible only if it is made voluntarily and without any inducement, threat or promise from any person in authority. If a confession is obtained under duress or any form of pressure, it is deemed involuntary and is therefore inadmissible in court. Hence, C is the correct option. Next, no confession made to a dash shall be proved against a person accused of any offence. Judge, police officer, executive magistrate, or advocate. The correct answer is option B. Confession made to police officer shall not be proved against a person accused of any offence. Hence, B is the correct option. Next, test of reasonableness is a very important consequence under the following articles: Article 13, Article 14, Article 15, or Article 16. The correct answer is option B. The test of reasonableness is a crucial concept under Article 14 of the Indian Constitution, which guarantees the right to equality before law and equal protection of the law. Article 14 mandates that the law must treat all individuals equally, and any classification made by law should be reasonable and not arbitrary. The test of reasonableness is applied to ensure that laws do not violate the principle of equality. A classification made by a law must have a rational basis, serving a legitimate purpose, and must not be discriminatory or arbitrary. The courts often use the test of reasonableness to strike down laws or actions that fail this standard. Hence, B is the correct option. Next, under the BNSS 2023, what is the maximum duration for which a person can be kept in police custody without the order of a magistrate? 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours. The correct answer is option B. According to Section 58 of the BNSS 2023, a person arrested without a warrant must be produced before a magistrate within 24 hours, excluding the time necessary for the journey from the place of arrest to the magistrate's court. Hence, B is the correct option. Next, which of the following provisions has been newly introduced under BNSS 2023 to promote the use of technology in criminal procedure? Confession to police made admissible, introduction of plea bargaining, recording of search and seizure via audio-video means, or arrest without warrant for all cognizable offences. The correct answer is option C. BNSS 2023 introduces several technology-based reforms, including mandatory audio-video recording of search and seizure processes under Section 105, subsection 3. This provision is aimed at ensuring transparency and accountability in police procedures and minimizing allegations of fabrication or misconduct. Hence, C is the correct option. Next, according to Section 3, subsection 5 of the BNSS 2023, when a criminal act is committed by several persons in furtherance of their common intention, what is the liability of each person involved? Each person is liable only for the act they directly committed. Each person is liable for the act only if they physically performed it. Each person is liable for the act in the same manner as if it were committed by them alone. Or each person is not liable unless they were the main perpetrator of the crime. The correct answer is option C. Under Section 3, subsection 5 of the BNSS 2023, when a criminal act is done by several persons in furtherance of the common intention of all, each person is held equally liable for the act. This means that even if an individual did not directly carry out the act, they are still treated as though they had done it themselves, provided that the act was committed in furtherance of a shared common intention. Hence, C is the correct option. Next, a decree may be described as a final order in a suit, a decision which disposes of the rights of the parties. Your options are only one, only two, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. A decree under the Code of Civil Procedure refers to a final order in a suit, and it also disposes of the rights of the parties involved in the case. In Section 2, subsection 2 of the CPC, a decree is defined as an order that conclusively determines the rights of the parties in a civil suit. Hence, C is the correct option. The last question is, the lis pendens principle means that no suit can be instituted without the consent of the defendant. A pending suit prevents another suit on the same subject matter. The court must list all pending suits in its order, or the plaintiff must withdraw a suit if another is pending. The correct answer is option B. The lis pendens principle is derived from the Latin term meaning pending litigation. Under this principle, once a suit has been filed and is pending before the court, no other suit can be instituted on the same subject matter involving the same parties until the pending suit is resolved. Hence, B is the correct option. Now it's time for the practice question. The question is, no substituted performance of a contract shall be undertaken unless the party who suffers such breach has given a notice in writing of not less than dash to the party in breach calling upon him to perform the contract within such time as is specified in the notice, and on his refusal or failure to do so, he may get the same performed by a third party or by his own agency. 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, or 10 days. Send the answer to this question in the comment section. That's all for today's MCQ session. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Drishti Judiciary YouTube channel. See you in the next session. Keep preparing.